We now move to Thursday night where the Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Atlanta Hawks 120 to 109. The Bucks welcome back their reigning two-time MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo after he had missed 6 games with a left knee injury. Giannis scored just 15 points in 25 minutes, but he got plenty of help from Oh wait, I do apologize. That was not Chris Middleton. It was Drew Holiday dropping 23 points and Brook Lopez hitting a double-double of 19 points and 12 rebounds. The Hawks had won 7 of 8 before this defeat, and Trae Young struggled from the floor, going just 3 for 17. And he did not score in the first half. The Hawks did get 28 points from Bogdan Bogdanovic and a season high from Solomon Hill, season high 18, all from behind the arc. All right, Drink, over to you. Was this game more about the Bucks or more about the Hawks?
This game is more about the Hawks for me. For those that want to say, "Oh man, Nate McMillan that took over the Hawks, they ready to go. Let's go, baby, the playoffs." This game is a depiction of what people mean when they say it's levels to this. You don't just wake up in the morning and be a contender. You might be playing a little better, no doubt, but you can't crown yourself a contender until you earn them stripes. This is what I mean. Giannis ain't played in 6 games. He came back, still had a pretty decent output. Nevertheless, whether Giannis had a decent output or not, you still, for the most of the game, I guess it depends on how you look at a blowout or getting rolled, but you got dominated pretty much by, a team that wasn't 100% healthy, I guess. And I'm looking at this specifically on the Hawks side because you hear all this, oh, the Hawks they're arriving, they're the next coming, they're this, they're that, Trae Young and Collins and all that. And I do agree that the Hawks is a good up and coming team, but so is the Hornets. It's other teams. Maybe Chicago might be up. It's other teams that I could point to and say the same exact thing to. But when I'm talking about elite level, championship level contenders, the Bucks, they're there at this point. The Hawks is not. That's all it is to it. And we seen that. Yeah, both teams are missing guys. Trae Young didn't play his best. I got it. You can't expect him to come out here and, put on a show every night. It's going to be ups and downs. It's a long season. But when you got Bogdanovic out here dropping 28, you might expect that you're going to get this dub. Because, if you actually look at the stats for the Hawks don't look terrible. But it just shows you that it's levels to competition. And the Hawks is not there. They're good, but they're not there yet. That was the overall arching I got. The Bucks was the Bucks as far as I'm concerned. I didn't see nothing that was overly like, oh man, the Bucks. The Bucks look like the Bucks. They look like a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. That's what they look like. And the Hawks look like a playoff team, but that's about it. That's about the ceiling for now. Listen, at the end of the day, I would like to see more from the Hawks. I'm a fan of the Hawks. I'm a fan of Nate McMillan. I would like to see them more. But you learned that night in, night out, this is not it. Now, to your point about, Chris Middleton, I wouldn't necessarily say he played terrible. I would like to see more. But then it's one of them things to me like, okay, he didn't score a lot, but what else did he do? Because, he did some things, but his plus minus was -7. So take that for what it's worth for everybody that looks at plus and minuses. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at this Hawks. This just not enough, man. That's probably in a nutshell. It's not enough. So to answer your question, this game was more about the Hawks than the Bucks. The Bucks was just the championship level, 2-time MVP, all that good stuff that we've been saying about the Bucks for the last 2 to 3 seasons. And the Hawks is learning. You're gonna need a little more to get up to that level, but we'll see. Shouts out to them. Shouts out to Nate McMillan. I don't want to beat them up too bad, but it's levels, man. Y'all ain't ready yet. The Hawks just ain't ready for that Bucks smoke right now. We'll see what they do in the future.
Yeah, you said it's more about the Hawks. I disagree a little bit. I think it's more about the Bucks, and here's why. We've talked about, and it's been pretty clear that there is a distinct difference 1 through 3 in the East to everybody else. The Bucks have been sitting at third pretty consistently for a while. The Hawks have recently risen up to that fourth spot. And I think it was pretty important for Milwaukee to come out and cement their status as a top 3 team and leave no doubt. And I think they did that in this game. If you come out against Atlanta, a team that was without John Collins, DeAndre Hunter, and I believe there's a couple other, guys, Chris Dunn, there's somebody else I'm missing. There's too many. I can't keep track of them all. There's too many guys not playing. But if you come out and you lose a game to a team who I think is clearly, although they're up and coming, they're not on the Bucks level, I think that would be somewhat concerning, which is why I was pretty encouraged with how they played. They were up by, I believe, 19 at one point in the fourth quarter. The game was not particularly close. And the Hawks got, when you get 6 threes from Solomon Hill, let's just say that doesn't happen a whole lot. No disrespect. But the Hawks, outside of Trae Young, the Hawks starters all shot the ball really well. Bogdanovich was really good. Kevin Huerter was good. Capella had, he was his usual big factor, double-double action. That battle between Capella and Lopez was very entertaining. But, Milwaukee, even on a night where Giannis didn't have to do a whole lot, Middleton was not particularly good, especially shooting the ball. But one of the things I was a little concerned about with Milwaukee coming in is I wasn't sure about their depth. Their depth looks to be pretty good, judging by this game. I mean, when you can bring Connaughton, Bobby Portis, PJ Tucker, and Jeff Teague, a former All-Star under Mike Budenholzer. I don't think we can forget that. They can go 10 deep when Dante DiVincenzo, is healthy. So, Bryn Forbes stepping in the starting lineup in this game. We know they have 3 players who, we can call them a big 3. I think Drew Holiday's proven that he's a tremendous player and an upgrade over the departed Eric Bledsoe. I really thought he did a pretty good job last night on Trae Young. I like how the Bucks defended it. They made it difficult for him. It seemed like they put him in a kind of in-between game. A lot of NBA players, they want to shoot threes or get to the basket. They ran him off the three-point line a lot, but they wouldn't let him get all the way to the rim. It resulted in a lot of floaters. So there were plenty of those floaters that were makeable, but Trae Young was not good in this game. But regardless, the Hawks, I don't look at it as a real blemish against them. They got beat by a superior team. They were undermanned. They're up and coming. A lot of people, probably many people saw them being in the 4th spot ahead of a team like Boston at this point, or Miami, or teams like that. So there's no shame in this. But they still have a long way to go. When they get fully healthy, I think it'll be interesting to see, how much noise they can make in the playoffs. But Nate McMillan's done a fabulous job, and I think he deserves some love, even though he's only coached probably about half the games. Nate McMillan should be an honorable mention Coach of the Year candidate. I think he's deserving of that. When you look at a guy who came in when the Hawks were in 11th place in the Eastern Conference, and now fast forward just in this short period of time, they're 22. Their record is something pretty crazy since he's taken over. They much improved. So all of that is a positive for the Atlanta Hawks. I don't think it's that big a deal they lost this game. I do think it's important for Milwaukee. And Milwaukee, I think in the 3rd spot, I think it's to their benefit. They've been the best team wire to wire the past 2 regular seasons, and it's put a little bit of a target on their back. They're not going to have to deal with that this year. Philadelphia has been, pretty much in control of the Eastern Conference, or, Brooklyn has gotten a step ahead of them here and there. But Philadelphia, with Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Doc Rivers, all the rest, and some of them guys like to chirp a little bit, so they're going to attract a lot of attention. And we know Brooklyn has all the attention, and everybody's going to be coming for Brooklyn, because you just want to go out here with the Star Wars 1992 Dream Team, or whatever they're trying to put together. They got a dude who, Marcus Aldridge, who just retired, and they still incredibly stacked. They don't even make no sense. But Milwaukee in the third spot, I think it's right where they belong. I think it's going to be to their benefit come playoff time. It'll be a little bit of switching roles because I don't think there aren't many people that probably right now think Milwaukee can get out of the East, but I think it's dangerous to count them out right now. I think it's going to be interesting to watch them playing from the third seed as opposed to the top seed.